beautiful thing about YouTube is that just because something should go without saying, doesn't mean somebody isn't going to come along and say it, and that's what I'm doing here today. And we already know that Red Dead Online is a one-of-a-kind MMO-lite, live service, cooperative game. We already know this. We know it's very far removed from things like Destiny, even far removed from things like Grand Theft Auto 5. If you played something like Marvel's Avengers, Destiny, Division, Anthem, or even GTA, like I said, there's so much pressure on the player to complete and to pursue high-end numbers. And I'm not trying to be, casual about that. I don't think those high-end numbers are meaningless, but it's numbers. You're pursuing a lot of money, you're pursuing a high power level, light level, whatever the game calls it. You're pursuing maybe a certain playstyle, that's for sure, but I feel like the nature of those games is about perks and power levels and numbers and completion. Running the same thing over and over again, waiting for a drop type deals, because that drop will optimize your build. Now, I'm not saying you don't end up redoing content in Red Dead Online. I'm, fairly new to the game, all things considered, and I've been redoing content over and over again because either I enjoy the experience or it pays well. And I'm not saying Red Dead doesn't have an element of money and gold grind, but Red Dead also doesn't really care about that. That's clearly not Rockstar's goal. Like, you would see that echoed in their design philosophy if the main point of the game was to get to a certain progressive point, but no. The progression-based systems in Red Dead are very simplistic. So you can work towards horses and horse customization, guns and gun customization, outfit customization such as clothing items, and then you have camp improvements and role items. If Red Dead wanted to be a massive grind, then we'd be getting guns constantly added to the game, vehicles added to the game, we'd be seeing houses, homesteads, mansions already added to the game, but it's almost like the philosophy behind Red Dead Online is to not be the MMO lite that you have to hop on and grind every day. Well, and so you might say, well, that's not true because of the daily challenges, but I'm going to sort of challenge Rockstar's game philosophy by my own experience. So, Rockstar clearly likes the idea that if you want gold, you have to log on every day, complete a daily challenge, until you get your gold multiplier up to the point where every 4 challenges equals a gold bar. That's a pretty sweet deal when some of the challenges are cook chicken or get drunk once. It's not hard to do. So yeah, you could say, well, they clearly want me to log on every day like it's a job, a chore, and progress through it, but that's, well, no, what are you gonna buy? Yeah, there's things you can buy with that gold, but the really expensive gold purchases would eat through that gold way faster than you'll make it. So be practical. Even if that's Rockstar's main goal is to make you all grind and pay for gold, gold prices aren't so low that it justifies that grind. So again, just separate from what the game asks you to do and just look at the practicality of doing that at all. Look at how much gold you'd burn through if you just started spending it like it was a normal currency. You would just run out. And gold-only purchases are kind of rare in the game, and, they don't require you to play the game like a Destiny, like a Division, like an Avengers, something like that. That doesn't really push you towards that at all. It's clearly, to me, not their purpose. It's not Rockstar's main goal. And this is what makes it so one of a kind. I think the only other game that's similar to it that I could think about is maybe Sea of Thieves, but still, you have to then add on all of the bits of flavor and immersion that Red Dead Online brings, and then you realize that this is really a one-of-a-kind project. And it's funny when I see a lot of feedback towards Red Dead Online that just focuses on players wanting the game to be more conventional. It's like they want it to be like the other live service games that constantly basically hangs a carrot in front of you and you have to progress towards it and then it gets pulled away at the last second. Whereas Red Dead really doesn't do that. There's carrots at the end of sticks, but the sticks are absolutely stationary and you can eventually get to them and, well, it's kind of just a carrot. I mean, the journey seems to be more important than the destination in Red Dead. I'm not kidding when I say you can't win Red Dead. There's no winning Red Dead, there's no owning everything in Red Dead, and even if you owned everything, you couldn't use it all at once. You could just be swapping out guns and horses and outfits constantly, but that wouldn't be a meaningful pursuit. So what's the meaningful pursuit in Red Dead? That's what makes it one of a kind. It's sort of the fuck up to you. And the term RPG is thrown around so much these days, we don't really think about what a true RPG is. It's a game that allows you to pick your role. And that could be your combat style, sure. That could be your decisions through the story, okay, sure. Or it could be the entirety of what you want out of the experience. And I do believe that's why Rockstar called their jobs, their factions essentially, roles. Because it's a role-playing environment. And I think Red Dead should lean into this design philosophy that maybe they've inadvertently put forth, but add more details to the game. Instead of major content, I mean, yes, let us buy houses for the love of God, and cool wagons would be fun to own. Even just being able to own your own stagecoach and drive your friends around, and that'd be great. Or a 6-horse coach, oh, that'd be so cool. But that doesn't matter, because once you have it, Red Dead is still Red Dead. And I think Red Dead's strengths would be, let me go into restaurants and order food. You know, let me find animals fighting in the wild like you can in the campaign. I mean, you can find wolves grieving other dead wolves in the campaign. I say campaign because I'm a stupid COD player, but the story. The single-player Red Dead experience is full of details, and I think they should be focusing on bringing those details into Red Dead, so that the world is more immersive and that you can take your time enjoying the world more often so you don't feel separated from it. Yeah, you can go hunt animals, but you'll never find them fighting. You'll never find one that's injured. I mean, yeah, there's those little moments where you'll find like wolves that have arrowheads in them, but that's about it. More random encounters, more dynamic weather, more different types of things that can happen, like full-on dust storms in New Austin would be fantastic. Just more things that bring you into the world and make the moment-to-moment experience, riding horse from point A to point B, those types of experiences, that's what should be focused on. Now, there should be larger endgame content, but this is where I want to end the video, because I want this to be the thought that you leave the video with. Everything else has sort of been building up to this. Maybe Red Dead is the MMO light without an endgame. And maybe they should focus on making an immersive world to escape into online with your friends, much like the story was, but they could even surpass the story, which would be really quite the feat of engineering. But imagine if you could find someone being hanged, or you could, find animals fighting out in the woods. You could find different gangs roaming around hunting. You could find people doing things more naturally. You could find more NPCs that ask you to help them that maybe weren't even in the story. People want there to be an end game. People want there to be something for the level 1000s that grind the game every day, but what if Red Dead Online was able to cement itself as a one-of-a-kind online MMO-light game? There is something to be said about endgame content, but what if that wasn't their focus? And what if just increasing the number of experiences you will have naturally throughout the world became the focus? That's already more focused on in Red Dead Online than most of their games of this style or type. To play to that strength would mean it rises above the everyday MMO light with amazing endgame content, and it would put it into its own unique category. It could actually claim something that's very hard to claim in the AAA market, which is being genuinely unique. Red Dead Online doesn't even follow the same design philosophies of Grand Theft Auto 5 or GTA Online. Maybe that's not its weakness, maybe that's its strength. Now, there should be higher end purchases. I do want to own a house, I do want to own weaponized wagons, I do want to get more guns in this game because there are so many they're leaving out. I get that, there should be more content that players can grind towards in the game, but I wouldn't want that at the expense of Red Dead Online becoming more and more a conventional MMO light and not a unique, immersive role-playing experience. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, and let me know if you're getting tired of me, touching on these topics. I want to talk about different ways that you can make Red Dead Online more fun for yourself. I also want to talk about maybe some of my favorite weapons in the game. If you guys want that more lighthearted content, a little less opinionated content, then let me know and I will adjust accordingly, I guess. So anyway, see you when I see you guys. Goodbye.